Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Christina Bear.
And I'm Carrie DeFalco. Today is Thursday, July 14th. We've got some great stuff for you today.
Yeah, we're talking to a few people, actually. Some really fun stuff for you. It feels like Friday. I was confused this morning. I don't know about you.
I definitely got the date wrong today. Yeah, no, it's been a day. Absolutely. Yeah. I know we have integrative nutrition health coach Elizabeth Gerard. She'll be joining us a little bit later in the show. She's going to help keep you healthy eating all summer long.
That's what we definitely need.
Yes.
I definitely need it. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
but
along with another cup of coffee, probably.
Gone off the wagon in terms of eating healthy for the summer. Before we get to all that, let's check in with your summer forecast. Meteorologist Mike Favetta.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great day here across New Jersey. We've got beautiful weather on this Thursday morning. In fact, with highs climbing back into the upper 80s, a little touch of humidity making it feel great all around the Garden State. Expecting a little bit of a muggy morning, but the sunshine all afternoon, feeling wonderful even at the beaches, and that's key for today. Expecting high temperatures to climb all the way up to 88 degrees, and with another round of heat expected through the afternoon, it will stay rather warm, even going into later on this evening. Inland temperatures likely hitting the low 90s. Places like Trenton getting to 91 degrees this Thursday. Also having a little opportunity for a chance of an isolated pop-up thunderstorm. I think the best chance for that is along the sea breeze front, which develops along the beaches. That's why with a sea breeze from Seabright toward Belmar and Atlantic City, your afternoon temperature cools off into the low 80s. We'll take another check of your forecast. We've got some weather headlines coming up for you, detailing a potential heat wave on the way for next week. All that and more in just a few minutes.
Wave, I'm not into that.
I can't, my hair can't do it. There's already too much. I'm over it. I'm over it. All right, Mike, thanks so much. Don Smith joins us now with a look at the morning commute. Hey, Don, how's it going?
Hey, Kay. All right, good morning to you. Good morning, Christina. Yeah, my hair hasn't moved since 1997, maybe. I don't know.
This is why we love you, Don.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big Vitalis guy, right? So let's go to the maps here this morning, shall we? We do have a couple of issues here, and the first is here on Route 80 going west, coming up towards Polyfly Road, Hudson Street. It's right around exit 64. Looking at a crash, and it's a fairly substantial ride. We'll say just west of about the Turnpike, the 80-95 interchange here this morning. I want to show you the camera, and it's right here on the local lanes, just as you kind of come around the curve here. So if you can get into the express lanes, say you're watching Fort Lee, also over towards Leonia, that is the better play here to head west on Route 80. There's also other issues further west of this. I'm still trying to get a handle as far as what's going on. Nothing reported from DOT as far as a crash here, but somebody on the road is reporting a crash going east here up by Route 19. Haven't substantiated that, but there is some really heavy delays in both directions here out of Elmwood Park on over towards Patterson, and then the eastbound side is heavy through Woodland Park around exit 55. So really a tough ride along Route 80 both ways at Route 19, and now eastbound 46 at the Route 3 interchange. Early this morning we had a ton of traffic with late running construction, but I think they're setting up midday roadworks hopefully sometime, some universe that they'll finally finish all of that road work. But some pretty tough delays. Little Falls, Woodland Park there this morning. Parkway still fairly substantial here as you get into Bloomfield. Both ways at 280 at the Stickle Drawbridge is heavy. Turnpike Eastern and Western spurs are good. Route 24 going west here out by the Mall at Short Hills is going to be a little bit heavy. 287, we're in fairly good shape along Route 80, Route 15, Oakland, Wayne. 208 going south at Maple Avenue, or actually it's closer to Fairlawn Avenue. Looking at some heavy traffic there, and that is because of construction. 15 in Lafayette is going to be a little bit busy. 80 out to the Gap is good. Eastbound 78. Now we're picking up some road work here by interchange or exit 7, I should say. I'll get that right. It is Thursday, not Friday. So a little bit heavier there. Bridgewater 202, 206 is good. Turnpike is moving fine. Let's head down the shore, with these warmer temperatures, as Mike said, into the lower 90s today. So far, so good along the Parkway, 36, 35, 71, 35, a little busy there in Seaside Heights. So again, just kind of keep that in mind. But the Parkway through Ocean, Atlantic counties, southwestern Jersey is clear, 55, a little bit busy. As you get out towards Sea Isle City, Ocean City, Atlantic City, Wildwood, and Cape May, things are fine. New Jersey Transit is going to be looking good. We had some earlier couple canceled trains here on the corridor, so watch for that. And our Hudson River crossings, we are looking at on average of about 20 minutes across the board. That's what's happening in a fairly active traffic center for a Thursday. Kara, Christina, send it back to you.
Very much. Don Smith's the only man who can have me laugh till I cry at 9:03 a.m.
We missed half the traffic report because we were both dying laughing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Hope you put that on Instagram.
Yes, yeah, exactly. All right, Don, thanks. We'll touch back in with you in just a little bit. All right, getting into the news today, Congressman Frank Pallone announced that he has secured $1 million for Middlesex College.
Yeah, the money will go towards adult learning programs that'll also address equity gaps and will specifically focus on residents who have been incarcerated, all with the goal of retaining adult learning and boosting their graduation rate.
Yeah, so the funds are part of the spending bill for fiscal year 2023. But I love this. My family always raised me to kind of be like a student of life, and if I had the money, I would definitely go back again and again.
For sure. Although I always said, I don't know how I would do in college right now because of the idea of writing papers and doing all of that.
Yeah.
Kind of is overwhelming.
A little bit overwhelming, but definitely. And I love for to bring incarcerated people back into the system, get them in education, get them out into the world in a step ahead where they can,
it's
go
an
about.
Awesome program for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think anything to reform and help that situation is definitely worth it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
In other news too, New Jersey Secretary of State Tahisha Wei has been selected by members of the National Association of Secretaries of State as the association's new president.
So that makes her the first woman of color to serve as the president of the group. Now, the association is a nonpartisan professional organization that allows state officials to meet, share ideas, and foster interstate relationships.
Yeah, Secretary Wei will serve a one-year term along with the rest of her executive board.
I just love stuff like this because I love to see, obviously, I love to see New Jersey winning. I love to see women winning.
Yes.
I just, that's really cool. And I was researching that association, and I that is such a great idea because it really is kind of this outside politics way of getting everybody in the same room, sharing ideas. Hey, this is what works in our state. Have you guys tried this? Maybe we can resolve it. And I think when you kind of pull them out of that political arena and they're not doing this, they're more likely to do this.
They're more likely to work together.
Yeah,
I like it, and exciting for her to be sort of a trailblazer too, the first woman of color in that role. I mean, I think finally we're making some strides.
Yeah,
representation and representing women. I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of, I'm really excited about our first guest today. She is a plus-size adventurer and influencer.
She's hiked Kilimanjaro. She wrote a book about it, and now it's being made into a movie.
Please welcome Kara Richardson-Whiteley to the show. Hey, good morning, Kara.
Good morning, everyone.
Great name, by the way.
I feel the same about yours.
So I read your bio. I'm just so impressed by all that you do and have done. When I read Hiked Kilimanjaro, I was like,
done.
Full stop. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now?
Sure, absolutely. These days, I'm spending most of my time as a plus-size advisor. That means I'm helping brands connect with the 67% of women who are size 14 and above. And that's just not like externally facing, also internally facing, because a lot of companies over time have lost touch of how important it is to relate to people as they are. And so my work helps people, reach out to people that they want to connect with in the workforce, people, their employees, their team members, because representation is really important.
Yeah, I was just going to say, why is it so important for brands to engage with the plus-size market?
Well, if you think about it, for so long, this often ignored market, it amounts to more than $20 billion in spending power in the U.S. alone. And so when we're talking about engaging with that market, there's so many goods and services that could be built or could be designed around this market, because right now, those brands who aren't engaging with the plus size market are all fighting over the same 33% of the market who are in straight sizes. So It's really important for brands to step back, especially in this time when, there's such a need for new growth, there's such a need for new markets. And so what I do is I take my disruptor strategy training, my brand training, my media training. I was a journalist for a decade, in addition to my life experience, because I've been a plus size adventurer. I've climbed Kilimanjaro 3 times. I've hiked 100 miles of the long trail. I've done all sorts of, I and a plus size body, most people who would look at me would think like, no way, you didn't do that. But the truth is that I'm not the only one out there. There are plenty of people who want to engage with the outdoors and engage with things that bring them joy.
Yeah, and Kara, you're a Jersey girl like us. And what inspired your love of the outdoors? You were talking. I mean, I don't know anybody. I don't care what you look like. To hike Kilimanjaro and to do it 3 times, I'm like, that's it.
We're not worthy.
Exactly.
For sure.
I feel the same way in your company, but thank you. I think the most important part of my journey with weight and with who I am as a human is understanding that, I have a history. I've had a history of binge eating disorders specifically. It's one of the most common eating disorders out there and not often talked about. And so what I learned was binging, when I used food as a way to kind of push away emotions, it kind of made the uncomfortable less bearable. But over time, I've learned to recover from binge eating disorder. And what I found is that the outdoors is the exact opposite of binging. Binging for me was all about pushing away the discomfort, the joy, the everything in between. But the outdoors, it doesn't matter where you're going, whether you're, I live in Summit, New Jersey, so maybe I go to Watchung Lawn or Jockey Hollow. The minute you step into the forest or any place of nature, you're immediately kind of surrounded by it. And it's all about bringing things closer to you. And so it doesn't matter if you feel fear of like, what's going to be on the trail? Is it going to be a bear? Is the path going to be muddy? The most important thing is you take one foot and put it in front of the other and you keep walking forward. And, that is why the outdoors is so important to me, is because it brings all of the emotions, the great, from the amazing vistas and things that I've seen, the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Havasu Falls, closer.
Yeah, I mean, nature has a way of healing for sure, too. Tell us about the movie that's being made based on your book. This is just amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, it was a couple years ago. I slid my book Gorge, My Journey Up Kilimanjaro at 300 pounds across the table to This Is Us actress Chrissy Metz. It took her a couple months, but all of a sudden I got the most beautiful email that I've ever received about the book from her. And what's funny about it is that she said to me in the email, like, it took me a month to write the perfect email. And I said, Chrissy, you would have had me at hello. You don't need to, specialize your words for me. But actually, it's in the process of finding partners and players in the project right now. Movies take a tremendously long time.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm focusing so much these days on my influencer work. I work as an influencer for LL Bean, and I'm doing all sorts of fun projects in the outdoors to help open the door to more people, to the outdoors and to the things that bring them joy.
Can you? I have chills as you're talking.
Know.
That's so incredible. Kara, what is something or some things that you would want other plus size women to know about themselves or even their abilities? You said you feel like sometimes people would look at you and be like, oh, you didn't hike Kilimanjaro.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to say to people who identify with you?
Well, it took me 3 climbs of Kilimanjaro to understand this. But the thing that I've learned is that the most important thing for me to do is to love myself where I am and go from there. I spent so much of my life thinking I was like that life was all about before and after pictures. And it's absolutely not. The most important moment that we have is right now. The most important hike, the best hike that I'll do will be the one that I do today over at the Great Swamp Educational Center. Everything that we do is now. It's not later. I've spent so much time coaching women and working with people who are stuck in this idea of like, I'll do this adventure when I'm the perfect size, or I'll get that job when I have the perfect partner, or, it's always based on this like caveat or this thing that has to come down the line. But right now is the most important moment that we all have, and we all deserve joy. We all deserve to take steps towards those things that we really love to do. Should you book a trip to Kilimanjaro right now if you haven't hiked in decades? Probably not. But maybe you could pick up the 50 best hikes of New Jersey book from your local REI or outdoor store, and just find something that brings you a little bit of that peace, of that, comfort and healing of the outdoors.
If someone's watching this right now and being inspired, rightly so, by you and your journey and your story, what would you recommend to them? What first step, what hike would be the best first step for someone if they're thinking, you know what, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I happen to think, I'm spoiled by Watchung Reservation being so close to me, and I can't remember, but I've written about this in Gorge as well, about, I think it was the Orange Trail. It may not be the Orange Trail anymore. Look at a trail map. Don't just, that's a big piece of advice. Follow the paths that have been taken before you. So like, listen to the advice of people who are in the outdoors, be part of that community, but, find a small trail. I mean, when I started, the Orange Trail was maybe a 20-minute trail. It was like something that a preschool class could do on a field trip. But for me, it was this huge obstacle and huge accomplishment when I finally took it on. And so, don't be afraid of those little or beginning hikes, because they will lead you to the next one and the next one and the next one, if you so desire. And same thing with if you wanted to run, or if you wanted to dance or anything like that, just take one small step, just introduce yourself to it, and you'll see where you go.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It's great advice for absolutely anybody.
For anything, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Kara, where can folks find you and your work?
Great. Yeah, of course, you can go to kararichardsonwhiteley.com. and that you can book sessions with me if you're a brand and you want to know how to start that kind of conversation with your company, how to create that new growth. Also book a session with me on how to write your first book. Also on Instagram at Kara Richardson Whiteley. And of course on LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me there. I've got all sorts of resources for those who want to engage with the extended sizes market.
Amazing. Kara Richardson Whiteley, thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy trails.
Can't wait to hear about the movie too. When
I
it comes
know,
out.
that's so
It's going to be
exciting.
great. It's going to be an inspiring movie for sure.
We'll all be there.
Yeah, well, coming up, we'll tell you the latest way New Jersey is doubling down on protecting a woman's right to choose.
And we're talking healthy summer eating with integrative nutrition health coach Elizabeth Gerard. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss that one.
Hey, and don't forget, if you do miss something, not to worry. You can catch it all online by following our social media pages. Check us out at NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? You can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We are school teachers. We are leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
Meteorologist Mike Pavetta has another check of the forecast for us. Mike.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great Thursday morning. Get ready for some more heat. Now, although it's been rather dry, there's a chance of a quick passing thunderstorm later today. And that's really where we've been getting our rain from in the last 2 weeks, just these isolated pop-up storms. You may have noticed if there's not a sprinkler system on a nearby lawn or some grassy areas, the grasses are turning pretty brown across New Jersey. A lot of yellow areas just due to the lack of significant rainfall. And that's the case into our weather headlines, is that there's no significant rainfall until later next week. And I think maybe even early next week might get a shot of some of those pop-up showers again. Speaking of next week's weather, there's a heat wave ahead. We'll see above average temperatures, and it could be 90 degrees plus inland for all of next week's, considering that that's the trend on the next few days, at least the long range trend going forward a little bit in time to the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. See how New Jersey still is in that shade of orange and red? Well, that indicates that there is a good 50 to 60% chance of those temperatures, meaning our afternoon highs, to be above normal. Now, normal for us this time of year is anywhere between 86 and 88 degrees, so just a little bit more than that, and we're easily in heat wave territory as we enter the dog days of summer. Going forward, the weekend weather, it's hot. Temperatures climb into the mid and upper 80s each day. You do find a little bit of relief out toward the beaches, those overnight lows holding mild in the low 70s. And we felt that humidity around here the last few days. You know, we're going to get another dose of it next week. I'll give you more details on that coming up with the 7-day forecast just for New Jersey. That's in a few minutes.
It's the dog days of summer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I'm not a fan. I can't wait till fall. Don't send me hate mail. I'm just saying. I love fall.
All right. Don Smith is back with a look at the ride. Hey, Don.
Hey, Kara. Good morning, Kate Bear. Yeah, looking for that pumpkin spice latte, right, Kate Bear? The PSL, right? And not the PSL at MetLife, at Starbucks. Anyway, so friends, we're dealing with some road work here now. We're into the mid-morning hours, and I want to start you off here along Route 208. If anybody's traveled 208 over the last, let's say, month or so, you know that they've been doing a lot of road work here on these overpasses here between Maple Avenue, Fairlawn Avenue, Morleau Avenue, and that's exactly what they're doing here today out by Maple Avenue in both directions. So watch for some road work here, probably till about 2:30 for the mid-afternoon. So could be a little bit of a tough ride to the north out through Wyckoff and Franklin Lakes and to the south and east through Paramus. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. So 17, a little busy here both ways at your parkway. We've got some good news on 80 heading west here this morning out through about Polyfly Road. That crash on the local side, that's now been taken care of. So that is out of the way. All your travel lanes open. Before, still pretty busy as you come out towards Teaneck Road, Queen Anne Road in that location. 80 is settled down really nicely just in the last 15 minutes since you last saw me coming through Elmwood Park and Patterson. A little light congestion just west of Route 20, but that's about it. And then eastbound 46, we're dealing with some delays getting through the construction out through Route 3 out by Montclair State University. We widen up the maps, and 287 is good through Oakland all the way into Parsippany. A little bit of a minor slowdown here through Rockaway, but that's about it. 280 is good. Same thing with 24. Parkway faring nicely here all throughout Bergen, Essex into Union County. Maybe just a little bit slow here through the long-term repair coming through the old Union Toll Plaza heading south into Morris Avenue, but that's about it. Now, I want to focus you in here between Elizabeth and Newark, and if you're heading out to Newark Liberty here today, be careful because this 19 local side here from Haynes Avenue onto Route 81 getting out to interchange 13A for the Turnpike is really busy, and that's all for the port. Because look at North Avenue coming all the way around IKEA is just absolutely hammered getting into the port. And sometimes we see this about twice a week or so where there's just a lot of heavy traffic in this Elizabeth area. So give yourself plenty of additional travel time. The Turnpike is fine. Looks like we may be having some issues here coming up through Carteret now through interchange 12. I think that's some midday road work there on the outer side of things. Also eastbound 78 now we're picking up some delays as well coming into 287. Again, we're in that time frame where this midday construction slowly kind of trickles out onto the roadways, and that's a substantial backup, about 10 minutes there into 287. But Central Jersey, 287, the Turnpike, Parkway looks good if you're heading down the shore, trying to beat some of these 90-degree temperatures or possibly that today. Parkway is fine through Toms River, even out to Seaside Heights, Long Beach Island. That's probably a nice, good spot to head out to the shore. Cherry Hill is fine. Same thing on the AC Expressway and the Parkway, all the way to exit 0 is looking good. Let's check in with our Hudson River crossing. Still on average about 15 to 20 minutes across the board, and New Jersey Transit is going to be looking good. We are on or close to schedule, except for the River Line. We've got had one earlier train was canceled, but I think that has now been cleared. That's what's happening in the traffic center. Karen, Christina, we'll send it back into you.
All right, Don. Thanks so much.
Acting Attorney General Matt Platkin announced the creation of the Reproductive Rights Strike Force this week.
Such a powerful name.
I know.
This is part of New Jersey's response to the overturn of Roe v. Wade. So the strike force would involve officials across the Department of Law and Safety, including the state police, consumer affairs, even the insurance fraud prosecutor.
Now, basically, this strike force will use all available civil and criminal enforcement tools available in the state to protect women, both residents and people from out of state who are seeking an abortion, as well as the practitioners and even those who seek to prosecute them, those who threaten or intimidate patients. Now, this is a big topic because, Governor Murphy announced that, hey, come to New Jersey. We are a sanctuary state here when it comes to abortions. We are not going to prosecute you. And now they're basically doubling down on that announcement.
Yeah, on that protection. And the thing that I think is kind of, or particularly interesting in this is, they're basically turning around and saying where some of these other states that have banned it have said, we will prosecute you even if you go to a state and we will find you. Jersey's turning around and saying, oh yeah, we'll sue you.
Yeah.
So,
and they're saying, bring it.
Yeah. So this is really going to kind of, and it's interesting because it's, ultimately what the Supreme Court says was this is a state matter.
Right.
So it's, I'm really not sure how that cross
is going to play out.
Is going to play out because you really can't. We don't have. Apparently precedent is irrelevant at this point anyway, but there's really not precedent for, if you go to another state and commit a crime there, that's not a crime here. Like your own state doesn't prosecute you. Or vice versa. It's strange.
And also this comes on the heels of the president signing an emergency executive order ordering states to allow these abortions and not making it, illegal and prosecution and all of that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out and how this affects, other people coming in from the state and seeking those procedures because, how is it's going to get more
This is like testing the limits of the government. Like where does the federal government end? Where do the states begin? What does everybody, it's going to be interesting.
Very muddy.
So right along with this, New Jersey has some of the highest maternal death rates in the country, and black mothers are 7 times more likely to die during pregnancy or childbirth than white women.
Yeah, the numbers are staggering. And the U.S. on the whole has some of the worst mortality rates for mothers of any developed country. Which is what makes both the previous story and this one, of course, so important.
Yeah, so as part of the state's budget for this year, $20 million was promised to begin development of a maternal health center based in Trenton.
Yeah, that center is estimated to need closer to 50 or 60 million to be completed, but it is a step in the right direction, offering affordable access to care to not only the state's capital, Trenton, but one of the largest cities in the state. And of course, First Lady Tammy Murphy is a huge proponent of this. She's been working really hard and pushing for this. It's been basically her whole, campaign platform since she even they got into office.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that maternal care. And I think, it really is so bad. And it's funny, I was trying to look up the numbers because when I read it, it just said New Jersey has the highest mortality rate. And I was like, of mothers or infants? And I mean, I have to say, I know a disproportionate number of people personally who have lost infants in this. And it's my thought every time as I'm going, this is the United States of America. How does that happen?
Right. And it's really sad when you look at the bigger picture because this is the United States. We do have resources. We do have access to all this healthcare. Where is it? Where is it? How do we access this?
Yeah.
Let's streamline this process.
Exactly. So this is going to be tremendous both for the city of Trenton, the people who live there, and the state on the whole.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll open more too across the state, not just in Trenton, but in other underserved areas as well.
Absolutely.
Our next guest is a certified integrative nutrition health coach, emotional eating coach, and the owner of Pure Simple Wellness.
And she's here to help us stay on track with healthy eating all summer long. Please welcome Elizabeth Girard to the show. Hello, good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, and I'm coming to you live from the Pure Simple Wellness kitchen.
Oh, yay, I love it. All right, so I have to tell you a brief story. I ate so well on Monday, and by Tuesday, I was 2 slices of pizza and 4 garlic knots in at lunch, and I was only at the office help.
Oh my Lanta, yeah, I'm popcorn. I'm handfuls of popcorn on the fly.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best tips is start your breakfast. I'd love to know what you had for breakfast that morning, because if you start your breakfast with protein, healthy fat, and fiber, that's going to keep you much better throughout the day than if you start maybe with a donut or a muffin or a pretzel or a great big latte. What was it? The PSL that was mentioned earlier?
The PSL, yeah.
Guilty.
We got a few months until those, but
Yeah. I started, I think, with an extra large Dunkin'.
I did have a smoothie. That's the thing, but probably doesn't have enough protein in it. I think that's always my key. That I struggle with that one.
So you're saying start the morning with protein and fiber in addition to our caffeine.
And healthy fat. Yep. You know, you can have your caffeine in the morning. One thing I would say, though, is prior to having your coffee, be sure to drink water first. Maybe 16 ounces of water before you start in with the caffeine.
Yeah, that's the tough part to remember too, especially when you get dehydrated in the summer months.
You know what, and Elizabeth, I also am a graduate of, did you go to Institute of Integrative Nutrition?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I do, so it's like sometimes you know the things and you just don't do the things.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
That's very true.
Absolutely.
So you talk about eating the rainbow and getting fruits and veggies in, right? This is one of the most difficult things for people of all ages. And of course, this is the Garden State, right? What's your recommended way of getting access to those locally grown fruits and veggies?
Well, it's amazing how much produce we grow here in New Jersey. So number one, I mean, go to your local farmers markets. There are so many farmers markets, and they go from town to town. So if you can't make your market this week, check and see what other markets are around. There's also a local produce section in your favorite grocery store. If you can't find it, talk to the produce manager and ask. And all of those things are freshly picked and they're from your local area. So that's a great way. And then the third is there's a CSA. You can actually buy a share in a farm, and then you get a box every week. And that's another great option.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, I've done CSAs before.
Really?
They're great. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Sometimes you get stuff that you kind of don't know what to do with, because they will that like I think I got like patty pan squash one time, and I was like, I do not know what to do with this thing.
You're like, what is this?
You're like, yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll think of something.
When all else fails, roast it.
Yeah, that's literally exactly. Yeah, that's
barbecue it.
I was gonna say if there's nothing, I'm like, I'm just gonna slice it and roast it. I'll figure it out later. And Elizabeth, you already mentioned, getting your water in before your caffeine. What about staying hydrated throughout the day? How do we know if we're getting enough water? I actually saw the most complicated formula online the other day. It was like, take your body weight, divide it by 2, multiply by 30. And I was like, as soon as you said multiply, you lost me.
Well, the general rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces of water each day. And the thing is, if you're drinking 1 or 2 glasses of water a day now, do not go from 0 to 100 overnight. Go gradually with that. And also tune into your body and see what's happening. And not to be gross, but the easiest way to check if you're hydrated enough is look at the color of your urine. If your urine is kind of like lemonade color, then you're in good shape. If it's a dark amber, you definitely need to be getting more water. And if it's transparent or clear, then maybe just, back off the water just a teensy bit for the day.
Yeah, I mean, especially during the summer months too. It's so easy to get dehydrated so quickly when you're outside and doing things, for sure. All of these topics and these pointers are great for us, but what about our kids? How do we get them to form healthy eating habits early on in life? I mean, my kids only eat beige foods right now. French fries, chicken fingers, How do we get that to form?
Well, there are some good beige foods, right? You have cauliflower, you've got some potatoes, you've got mushrooms. But I think this is such an issue for so many of my clients. So I have a few strategies. I mean, number one is pretty obvious: lead by example. If they see you eating a lot of things, and if they're colorful and bright, then they say, hey, I want to try that. Another one is give them choices. rather than say you have to eat, this mushy broccoli and Brussels sprouts, which maybe kids have no interest in, give them 4 choices and then have them pick 2. You get 2 of these, which 2 would you like? And why not get them involved? Like, take them to a local farm and pick blueberries, pick strawberries, pick peaches and apples. It's so much fun. They're getting out in nature and they're way more likely to eat it if they have participated. And then one last thing is make it a game. Like, how many new fruits or vegetables can we try this summer? And let them choose. Which ones do they want to try? Like, I remember when I was a kid, the dragon fruit, like, what is this? I had to try it. So once they get excited to try it, they're much more likely, to be keen and to be interested in it.
And Elizabeth, I'll tell you what, to that point, I mean, I've taught children's cooking classes, and just to watch their faces when they eat something that they've made, and they're like, I did this and it's delicious. I mean, and I have them make like pasta and stuff, but even that, just to have the knowledge of like homemade pasta versus a store-bought one, I just think, when they see it, then they're
like a light bulb goes off.
Yeah, they really start to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and when all else fails, bribery, maybe? Like, hey, if you eat your carrots, we can play some video games?
Yeah. My parents went with that. I'm not sure about that one.
Well, that's one of those. It's funny. I was having a chat with a client the other day, and she was saying, my kids want to put ketchup on their vegetables. I said, listen, get a low sugar option of ketchup, and fine. If they're eating the vegetables, that's good, right? Whatever it takes. So
whatever it takes to get them in there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yep, I have a ketchup monster in my house too.
Do you?
On everything. It's like, okay, if you're gonna eat your broccoli with ketchup, do it.
Do it. Go
as long
for
as
it.
you're eating the broccoli. Okay.
Yeah, right. Hey, Elizabeth, where can we find you and your work?
So my website is puresimplewellness.com, and if you guys go there, you can get my top tips to boost your energy naturally. It's a free ebook that you can download there. And of course, I'm on Instagram, Facebook as well, but that's the best place to connect with me. And then I can send you all the other links.
Awesome.
Amazing.
I signed up yesterday, actually, not gonna lie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
Elizabeth Gerard, Pure Simple Wellness, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
So much fun.
Eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow.
Eat the rainbow.
Not
Absolutely.
the Skittles, the actual rainbow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, so coming up, we know that we can get some great eats here in the Garden State, but did you know that we have some of the country's best wine lists as well? We'll tell you all about it.
That sounds like a good one. Plus, we'll tell you all about some great summer programs that are encouraging our kids to be their best.
And don't forget, you can check us out on social media. You can follow along at NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for behind-the-scenes pics, clips of the show, and to see who's going to be on next.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We are school teachers. We are leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
Meteorologist Mike Vivetta is here with a look at the forecast. What's on tap for the weekend, Mike?
Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. We've got another round of summer-like weather on the way, and it's that July-like heat that makes it feel like baseball season. So we'll get you right out to your baseball forecast. Maybe heading over across the Hudson to the game at 7:05 this evening. when the Yankees play, anticipating a very warm finish to the game, even a warm start at 82 degrees. Late on the evening hours, it's going to feel humid even going into tonight. But that's really the trend here as we continue on into the month of July. Look at the 7-day forecast with highs in the 80s and 90s. Going through the next 7 days, we see a brief cool down for Saturday. It's going to be gorgeous this upcoming weekend, but still hot, especially with overnight lows holding in the mid-70s going into next week. So you know some hot weather's on the way, even when each afternoon climbs into the 90s, and that could begin our next heat wave here across New Jersey. We'll take another check of your forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Oh boy, that heat wave. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it. Anyway.
And Don Smith is here with a look at the roads and the rails, and it's been pretty busy out there, Don.
Yeah.
It has been, Christina. Good morning to you. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Mike, in the Weather Center. Yeah, you know what these hot temperatures Mike is forecasting for today? Let's go to the maps. We'll check out the shore areas this morning. Take a look at the Parkway through Sea Isle City, down through Wildwood, Avalon, Stone Harbor. Beautiful section of the Jersey Shore. Love it down here, getting all the way out to Cape May. So we're fine on the Parkway at exit 0. Always love exit 0, right? So the Parkway is good all the way through Ocean City. 52 is good. AC Expressway fairly quiet along 55 of 40. Same thing on the AC Expressway. A little backed up here on 55 as you get up into the 42 interchange, but nothing to get terribly excited about. 295, the Turnpike is looking good. Let's check out your ride here to Long Beach Island along 72. Just have to wait to the maps to populate here this morning. There we go. So we're fine. You know, not a whole lot of issue there at exit 63 is clear. All the way out to Seaside Heights, 195. The Trenton Mercer area is clear. Same thing, all of Monmouth County Parkway, 1833. So it's probably a good time to head out to the shore if you are looking to beat some of the heat. Central Jersey is good on 287 in Edison, Piscataway, but we do have issues here along Route 78 getting out to 287. Still getting word that the ramp to northbound 287 in Bedminster is shut until 11 this morning. And that is for construction. So you're going to be detoured here onto southbound 287. So just keep that in the back of your mind for the next about hour and a half or so. But the Parkway through Union County is good. Turnpike as we head into interchange 12 on the outer roadway. The trunk lanes has some construction there till about 2:30 or so. Our delays are beginning to thin out here along routes 1 and 9, coming out of the airports over towards Elizabeth, but still out through the shopping centers by the Jersey Gardens and IKEA. It is certainly going to be a heavy run. That's all the port traffic here this morning. East on 78 is really busy as well, out through the Union area, and some of this is getting onto the southbound Parkway because the Parkway is heavy out through Morris Avenue because of that long-term construction. We widen things up. Bay Extension is a little heavy here at 14, but 280 Parkway through Bloomfield is looking good. Our next hotspot is this 208 repair until about 3 o'clock, coming up from Fairlawn into Hawthorne out by Maple Avenue. That's traveling north. Again, that's 208 going north. You want to look for that. But as we go up towards Ramsey 17, Mawa is clear. Some roving construction along 287, tying the ride up out through about exits 52 or so out by Route 23. But again, it's just this midday road work that may slow you down. Now, Hudson River crossings, we're still holding strong with averages between 15 and 20 minutes. Take a look at transit, and still so far so good, going to be on or close to schedule. And that's what's happening in a fairly busy traffic center. Kara, Christina, we'll send it back into you.
All right, Don, thank you so much.
All right, so I love this story. Check this out. So police officers around the state are giving kids gift cards and other prizes for good deeds.
So cool. Officers in Belleville looking for random acts of kindness, good deeds like helping a neighbor do some yard work or carrying groceries, and they'll be handing out free Slurpee coupons.
I love it. Cops in Galloway are doing the same thing. They're looking out for kids riding their bikes safely with a helmet, helping out around the house, and they'll be getting coupons for a free slice at their local pizzeria.
And both of these programs are going all summer long. So many police departments participating in this. I know Evesham also had something where they were giving away ice cream, having all of these gatherings. I think it's such a fabulous idea because it's building a community relationship with the police department locally, and also recognizing kids like, hey, awesome job.
Yeah.
You're being an awesome citizen here. And so I think it's a great idea.
It's so cute too. Like you said, I mean, it's just, and I do think that that relationship with the police officers and like coming to know them as people who also give out prizes and good things and associating them in that way is so important.
Yeah, because imagine you're a kid and you see an officer approaching you, and the first immediate thought is, what did I do wrong?
Right, I'm in trouble.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so now they're flipping the script basically and saying, this is what you did right, and we're going to reward you for it.
And we're going to reward you for it, which is so important too.
Awesome. I love it. It's such a great program. Well, we know the Garden State also has some of the best food around.
Yeah, but did you know that Wine Spectator named 20 New Jersey restaurants among the best wine lists in the world?
Say what now? The awards have 3 levels: Award of Excellence, Best of Award of Excellence, and the Grand Award.
So while no New Jersey restaurants won the Grand Award this year, 2 have won in the past.
And 7 placed in the Best of Award of Excellence this year, including 3 New Brunswick restaurants. No surprise there. Stage Left Steak, Catherine Lombardi, and the Frog and the Peach. I've eaten at 2 of those places.
As have I, as a Rutgers guy. I'll be honest, Stage Left Steak wasn't there when I was.
It was different.
It was Stage Left. It was Stage Left, but it was something else. But I was really impressed that the 3 of them had stood the test of time, the pandemic, and now been awarded been named on this list.
So true. The Frog and the Peach, I think we ate there for my high school graduation. I am aging myself, but this was a while ago. And it's nice to see that it's still standing the test of time.
It's fantastic. And I just think, as someone who loves food and loves New Jersey, I'm always so thrilled to see New Jersey get recognized, because I think so many people are like, with like the World Cup is coming here and stuff like that, and people toss us away. They're like, oh, well, it's New York, but just outside of it. And I'm like, no,
man.
No.
Give us some credit.
The food, you can get as good food here, as good of wine, and we have parking.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to parallel park.
You don't have to parallel park or take an Uber or a subway. We got you.
They have a lot of parking garages in New Brunswick.
Yes.
And it's not expensive either. It's not $20 an hour like in New York City.
Seriously.
So it's very true.
I'm always proud of this place.
Represent.
Yes.
Well, we got one more look at your Garden State forecast coming with meteorologist Mike Favetta.
And we'll set sail with some of Wildwood's more aquatic residents.
Did you miss part of the show, by the way? Want to catch your favorite interview maybe, or snag that guest's Instagram handle? Make sure to follow us. Look for @NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and click follow.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
The American Lung Association invites you to join us outside in 2021 for our Fight for Air Climb events. Now more than ever, we need you in the fight for clean air and healthy lungs. Let's go outside and climb, because every step counts. Visit us at lung.org.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show.
Meteorologist Mike Favetta has one last check of the forecast for us, and I'm already sweating.
Hi, everyone. If you're making your Thursday evening plans, maybe they feature some alfresco dining, you will have some pretty decent weather. Now, there is the isolated chance of a quick passing thunderstorm, but really, if the skies look threatening and a storm passes through, it's not going to last for very long. It's not a widespread rain, and any rain that lasts only lasts for a few minutes anyway. So enjoy the outdoors this evening as temperatures hold in the mid-80s. Yes, even at 6 o'clock this evening, it's going to stay warm. You will find a lovely sea breeze, however, developing toward the beach locations like Long Branch. Your 6 p.m. temperature goes to 78 degrees, 79 for you in Atlantic City, and 79 as well in Cape May. There is plenty of heat ahead, even on the 7-day forecast, as highs go well into the 80s right through the weekend. And notice we're dry rain-wise until early next week, but the humidity remains high. In fact, there's enough humidity to to make it feel like the middle of July, especially with highs each day next week climbing into the 90s or better. And our heat doesn't stop there. We could see some triple-digit readings as soon as 1 week from today. It's going to be a very hot week ahead, culminating by next Thursday with potential triple-digit heat, and that may set some new records, especially inland away from the shore, as our hot New Jersey summer just keeps on going. We'll take another check of your forecast coming up in just.
Can we fire Mom Nature?
I was going to say, that triple digits, that is unacceptable.
And that only works when you're by a beach or a pool. The majority of us are
and
not.
have nothing else to do. Yeah, exactly. No, it's just, I can't. I cannot.
Gross. Thanks,
All
Mike.
right, Don. Don's got one more look at the roads for us. How are we doing in this all this heat and humidity?
Yeah, I think we need to get some heat-related songs you could put on your playlist, right, when you're driving.
Right?
Hot, hot, hot from Buster Poindexter, David Johansen, or even The Heat Is On, right? Glenn Frey from
there you go.
Beverly Hills Cop 1, right? Good stuff. Yeah, very nice. All right, so let's get to the action here for the late morning hours. We do have some issues now. This just came in as Mike was doing his weather report. This is truck routes 1 and 9. We're just awaiting now as we see the cameras from our friends over at DOT, the Hackensack River Drawbridge. It's slowly coming back down. So right now, everything is shut. If you're ready to leave the house here in Jersey City or Hoboken, I would stay with the Skyway instead or the Bay Extension, but hopefully this will be down in the closed position here very, very shortly in the next, hopefully, couple of minutes. Again, that literally just as I said, Mike, doing weather, that just came into the traffic center. We've also got an issue on the Outer Bridge crossing now, dealing with a broken down vehicle in Perth Amboy, so it looks like it's right before you get onto the bridge. I want to take you over the maps, and if you're looking to try to beat some of this heat, heading up to our beautiful High Point State Park to try to get some cooler temperatures there. 206 in Sandiston, Branchville, Hamburg 23. All is in great shape here early this morning or later in the morning, really. 1580 out to the Delaware Water Gap is good. 287 is fine. We do have some issues, though, and just be aware here in Bedminster, this is on eastbound 78. Still getting reports from DOT that the ramp to northbound 287 is shut until 11 with construction. So all that traffic is being forced to the southbound side of 287 if you need to get on there. So that's why I think this is fairly heavy coming out towards exit 17. We're also dealing with some road work here on the Turnpike in this location through Carteret at interchange 12. That's on the truck lanes, the outer roadway through that stretch through Middlesex County. East on 70, a little busy with construction out to the Parkway. Again, there's your truck routes 1 and 9 delays here this morning, but the Parkway is faring nicely. Bergen, Essex, and Union counties. We go back into Bergen County because we do have some trouble here north again. That's 208 going north at Maple Avenue. We've got road work set up till 3, and then more roving construction on 287 north out of Route 23 in that area. So again, this is the time frame where you see this midday road work go out, and it's kind of something maybe you're not really thinking about, and then you get hit with some of this repair. I think we have some more road work here east on 195 out through Monmouth Road, or just east of that out by Great Adventure, so look for that. But the Parkway, if you're heading out to the shore to beat some of this heat, is going to be absolutely fantastic. As we continue further south through Ocean County, Atlantic City, that is going to be looking good. And then 55 still busy through the long-term construction at 42 and 295, but down through Ocean City, Wildwood and Cape May is fine. Let's check in with transit. Still so far so good, but as these temperatures get into those 90-degree readings, I give a general alert for transit because sometimes the signals really don't play very nicely with heat. They're very much, a lot of them are electronic. They're almost like your cell phone. It kind of overheats after taking 3 minutes of video if it's 95 degrees at the shore. But just pad your travels by about maybe 15 minutes or so. And the Hudson River crossings, we are looking at now 30 for the upper at the George, about 25 for the lower, 15 at the Lincoln, and about 15 at the Holland. So that's what's happening. And again, a very busy traffic center. Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll see both of you tomorrow.
Absolutely, Don. Thanks so much. So I love this. You guys got to check this out. If you're headed down to the Wildwoods this weekend.
Yeah, you might want to keep an eye out for these guys. The Dolphins are playing in the water alongside of one of the tour boats that sail. How cool is this? Dolphins can be found up and down the Jersey Shore in the summertime.
I love this. I think sometimes we forget how rich and beautiful the waters
Yes.
off New Jersey are. I mean, you know, we started the summer with some shark sightings.
Yes,
now
still
we've
are.
got these guys. Look how much fun they are, though.
They're super fun. We've seen turtles as well,
Yes.
kind of floating in the water, just
hanging out.
relaxing,
Yeah.
enjoying the sun and the water, unlike us. But
Yeah,
maybe
well-
we'll get there eventually.
I love it. Like I said, love this place. It's
Yes.
always beautiful.
Always. Well, that wraps things up for us this Thursday.
Join us tomorrow as we talk to a Salvation Army specialist and a parenting expert.
Yes, and of course, we'll have all of your local headlines, your traffic, and your weather.
And don't forget, you can follow along on social media. Never miss a thing. Check us out at NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Have an awesome day, everyone. See you tomorrow.